Hey guys, my name is Brandon Turner with BiggerPockets.com, and today I want to show you a two-part video on how I estimate both the after repair value, in other words, what a property is worth when it's all fixed up, and what purchase price I can buy the property for. And so I want to flip this house. A lead came in and I want to flip that property. I want to fix it up and sell it and make a profit. But how do I know how much I can pay for it? Well, that begins with knowing the ARV, the after repair value. How do I know that? Well, we're going to look at both those things today. So the first half of this video is all about determining the ARV. And to do that, you have to use what's called comps. Now, a comp is short for comparable sale. It means another property that recently sold for about that's similar in style and age and number of bedroom, bathroom, whatever. So we're going to look at how to look at different comps, how to find those comps, how to estimate what your property will sell for. Then the second half of the video is going to look at actually running the numbers on that flip to find out what can we actually pay for it. Can we pay what they're asking? Do we have to pay less? Where does that make sense? So I'm going to be analyzing a deal for a fix and flip property. We're going to come up with an actual number for an ARV, or we're going to come up with a number that it's worth buying it at, and I'll be able to hopefully today sometime make an offer on this property. So that is what this video is, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, if you're enjoying this, make sure you give me a thumbs up here on the YouTube video. That just helps us out a lot. And then before I get to the video, last thing, I just want to invite you guys, if you're not a member of BiggerPockets.com, come check out BiggerPockets.com. It is the free real estate investing social network, marketplace, and information hub. In other words, you can learn everything about real estate you wanted to, you can connect with other people, and you can just grow as an investor and do deals and buy and sell properties and really grow as an investor. It's like Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, but only for people who want to build wealth through real estate investing. So come check us out, and I'll see you over there. So with that, let's get to the video. No more chit chat. Hope you enjoy this, and again, give me the thumbs up on YouTube if you like it. All right, thanks. We'll see you later. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys this property that I'm looking at. It's 503 West Westerly Street in Aberdeen, Washington. This is just a property that came up on the market, and I wanted to see, it looked like a potential for a flip. Now, there's an extra lot included. It's a huge home. It needs some work. I can kind of look at some pictures on this listing that my agent sent me, and I also can find this on Zillow or on Realtor.com or something like that. But I can see like the home doesn't look in terrible. Yeah, the kitchen looked pretty rough, but it doesn't. It doesn't look like it's in complete awful shape. So it's a very high potential, I think, for this property. But what is it worth? I mean, is it worth $200,000? Is it worth $150,000 when it's fixed up? Is it worth $300,000? I don't know. So I'm going to figure that out. So to do that, I'm going to, like I said, talk to my agent and have him send me a list of comparable sales. Now, I don't want him just to send me every property in my entire area. That would just get overwhelming me with data. I don't care about every property. I want similar properties to this one. So what I did is I asked for if he could send me in this zip code, which is the town of Aberdeen. I asked him to send me any property that's priced between $100,000 and $200,000. Knowing that $100,000 is on the low end, $200,000 is probably on the very high end for this. I could have gone $300,000, and I probably would have been okay. And maybe I even did say $300,000. Oh, I did. Good. Okay, so I set up to $300,000 just because now we have a wide range of prices, and I said I want it in this zip code within a certain radius of this property. So it took him maybe a minute to send me over this list, and this is what I see. Now, your agent might be different when they send you the list, might be a little bit different, and that's okay. But this is what I got. It said, click the following link to view the listings. I click this, and I'm going to end up on a list of properties. So this is my agent's kind of comp list. Now, you can also get this in physical form, or again, your agent will probably have it'll look different. The numbers are what matters, so don't worry about how it looks here. But let me just show you a few things. First of all, I can see there's a prospective house, 503 Westerly, right there, and they're asking $105,000. And I can see that it is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,600 square foot property. Again, I could look at more information. This is a listing he sent me. And I can see a lot of stuff about this property, and I can see that it's not fixed up. It needs a lot of work. I can also go down and see some other things. I can even look at a map of it if I wanted to. Granted, I think the map is right here. I'd rather go look at the Google map, honestly. So 503 Westerly Drive, Aberdeen. I'd rather look at the Google map to see exactly what we're talking about. So here's where this property is. In fact, here's even a Google Street View of it, which is kind of cool. Let's look at the street view. Just see what this property looks like. Okay, there it is. It's got some funky stuff here. I can look around the neighbors. I can see that the location is fantastic. In fact, my real estate agent lives right up here. Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic neighborhood. I love this area. I think it's a fantastic property. So anyway, so what we're going to do is look for similar properties to this. So this one's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,600 square foot in this hill area, this nice area. So I want to find some other properties that are fixed up in this neighborhood. So to do that, there's a couple ways. One, I can just scroll down this list here and there's 118 properties. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I wanted to make sure these were sold in the last, I think 6 months is what I told them. That's what I want. I want to look recent sales. So I can scroll through this one at a time and just look for all these properties, but this can be kind of difficult. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to check the map search and see if I can look there. Because again, I don't care about these properties over here in Central Park. I don't care about these ones on South Side. Those are not going to be the same. All I really care about is these nice houses that are up on this hill. And now check this out. Now we've got only a few to choose from. So here's the one we're looking at, 105. This one across the street was a 3-bedroom, 1.75 bath for $159,000. 500 Westerly Drive. It sold for $159,000. So let's look at some more information. I'm going to click the MLS on that, open it up, and here we go. This property, which is located directly across the street, I can see some stuff. I can see that it went for $84 a square foot. I can see that it's a 3-1, 1.75. And our other property, what was it? It was a 4-2. So this property is going to be, our property will probably be worth more than this one when it's fixed up. I mean, that's not for sure. There's a lot of things that go into it, like age and other things. And our property is 1957. This one's 1959. Interesting. This one's only 1872 square feet. This one's 2637 square feet. So again, our property is better than this one in those ways. This one has a garage that's attached. We can look through some pictures on this and see what. Now you can see this one's fixed up. This one's really nice, right? It looks really pretty. Got nice white cabinets. It's got finished stuff. It even looks like it's got maybe even staged a little bit. They got some tile. I mean, they did a nice job. Somebody lived here. It wasn't a flip, it looks like. Somebody lived here. Nice big backyard, beautiful backyard. It's a really nice built back porch. So again, this is a pretty good comp. I actually really like this one. And I know that ours is going to be worth a little more. Again, this one's at $84 a square foot. So if I want to do some quick calculation, I can figure out what's the price per square foot this one went for. And let's look at this one. This one's 2,600 square feet, 2637. And if we multiply that times the square footage on the other one, which was $84 a square foot, $84.94, we get $223. So if we use just square foot, cost per square foot, we could estimate maybe $223. Now, I think that's high. Especially because maybe the square footage is found in the basement. Maybe, I'm not sure, and basements aren't valued quite as much. But anyway, at least it gives me an idea. We're probably higher than this property here, than this 500. And that went for $159. Now, one thing I'd also like to look at is how many days on market it lasted for. Let's see if we can find that in here. Sometimes they include it and sometimes they don't, but it's a nice number to know. Let's see, we know that they listed it at $159 and they sold it for full price, list price, sold price, so we know that. Does it tell us anywhere days on market? Unless I'm missing it, I don't see it. We can see lot size, 8,000 square feet, and our property that we're doing is 5,700, smaller lot. Okay, so we maybe want to deduct a little bit for that, maybe not, quite as much. So again, I don't see anything that has to do with days on market here, which is a kind of a bummer. And I can ask my agent if I wanted more, but I'm guessing because they didn't drop their price, it probably didn't last long. So okay, so let's go back. We now know that this one is a decent comp. So let's go back. Let's zoom in again on our map. And that one again was 159. I could write that information down and have a pretty good idea that we're probably going to be higher than that for an ARV. What about this one over here? Ooh, 139, but it's only a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. That's not a good enough comp for me. I want bigger than 2 because we're talking 4.2. Very different. Here's one, a 3-bedroom, 2.25 bath, sold for 152. And it's over here just a few blocks away. Here's another one over here. This one sold for $224,900. 2,800 square feet, 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath. Okay, this one's clearly a bigger house, a little bit, but very similar, right? So let's look at this. Don't mind my dogs barking, they do that sometimes. So they don't like the postman when he comes to the door. All right, so we're gonna scroll through this one real quick and just kind of look. They did a really nice job on this. I mean, look at that back. Inside, stainless steel, nice cabinets, all this cool stuff. Of course, this room here is kind of ugly. Look at that. I don't know. It's a family room. And we can see it's a 2-car garage on this one. I mean, this one's definitely a nicer property, right? I think we'll all agree that maybe not nicer. I mean, it's got a lot of wallpaper. That's interesting. That's not very modern. We can see it's got a lot of that paneling. Even that's not very modern. Look at that. You know, interesting. So the house is nice. It's bigger. It's got a little bit nicer, but it's still not completely updated. So this one could be a decent comp as well for us, but I'm going to guess this is probably because of the size, because it's got 5 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms. This is definitely probably more expensive than ours is going to be. So now we've got 2 properties that we've looked at, one at $159 and one at $224. I'm going to assume we're going to be in between there somewhere. So that tells us a little bit. So let me go back to our map again. And this time, let's look at what else we can do here. So this one was a 3-bedroom. Oh yeah, we looked at this one earlier. 3-bedroom, 2.25 bath for $152. Let's take a look at that one. Oversized bay windows in the living room, sets the home apart, wide open spaces, mid-1970s Rambler. We're looking at 2,100 square feet, a little smaller. 3-bedroom, 2.25 bath. This one again was a 4-2, so one less bathroom, or one less toilet and sink, but it's 4-bedroom. Now our house is 1957. This one is 1973, so it's a newer house. Might be worth a little bit more because of that. And definitely it's got that nice split driveway. It's got some nice stuff here. Inside, ooh, look at that brass light. That's not cool. That is not an updated house. I mean, it's fine, but it's not a completely updated house at all. In fact, I would say it's a smaller house. It's not, ooh, look at that cabinets and counters, the yellow counters. Ooh, this thing sold for $152, and this is not fixed. Look at that. Ugh. All right. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's definitely not fixed up and remodeled. This is just a standard house right here. I don't even know if they painted, but it's got that nice outside. It's got a nice driveway, nice lot. It's 10,000 square foot lot. That's huge. Now, according to the listing, it says extra lot included. That's interesting. They say it's only 5,000 square feet. I bet you anything that's only one of the lot. I bet there's a second lot on there that's probably equal, so it might be 10,000. So what does this tell us? I'm going to go ahead and say that our property is probably worth more than this one because this one's not completely fixed up. This one's not beautiful, but it's a good number, a good thing to look at. Let's go back again to our map again. And there was one more that I wanted to look at here. Whoa, there goes the dogs again. All right, so we're going to look at this property right here, this one right here for $214, 3-bedroom, 3-bath property. All right, so Bel Air Home, same neighborhood, located end of a cul-de-sac, 3-bedroom, 3-bath. Okay, interesting. We can see that this property has 2,200 square feet. So again, very similar to ours at 26, a little smaller. This was built in 73, again, newer house. 3-bedroom, one less bedroom, but the difference between a 3 and a 4 is not usually that big. 3 bathrooms, so it's got an extra bathroom that ours doesn't have. Right, because ours is only a 2-bathroom. And let's look through this thing. Outside looks fantastic. They did a good job. This might even be a flip. Outside, there's a backyard, looks real nice. Inside, ooh, look at those green walls. Maybe this is not a flip. Wow. It's got wood floors, which are pretty. That green walls are old cabinets, old counters. So even this one was not a flip. Interesting. This is mediocre, I would say. This is nice, and maybe it's good enough for selling, but it definitely wasn't a flip. Look at that pink. Look at that. Oh yeah, this is a fine house, and it was empty, which is helpful to sell a property. But I can see this is not the world's best thing. But there is a 2-car garage, which is going to add some value. This one at $214, newer house. I would probably guess that ours is probably going to be valued somewhere around this one, maybe slightly lower, right? Because this one might appeal to people because of the newer property, because it is clean, it's empty, it's got a good amount of square footage. I would say ours could be worth a little more. I think we could probably justify a little more than this. But again, ours is built in the 50s, going back here again. And a lot of that's going to depend on how nice we fix this thing up, correct? We could fix this thing up really nice, or we could fix it up moderately. So we've now looked at 4 or 5 properties in the area. We can go back, and if we want to look at some more in this area, there's one over here on 6, which is similar, but it's not quite the same neighborhood. That was at 109, only 1,300 square feet, much smaller house, and kind of a weird looking one, but interesting. So again, different neighborhood. I'm probably not going to look at that one because I know my area. I know this area is very similar. So now we've looked at a few properties. Now here's a few yellow. I think that means pending. I think that's what. So let's see. This one was green. Okay, yeah. So this one didn't sell. Interesting. So 214 didn't sell. I didn't even notice that the first time. This is just the list price of 214. So I want to be very careful about looking at properties list price. That means it hasn't sold yet. What I really care about are the sold properties, the red ones. So again, we looked at this one and we thought that we were better than the 152 of this one. We thought we were probably better than that one. We looked at this one over here at 159 and we thought we were probably better than this one directly across the street, because this one was a 3 1.7, ours was a 4.2, ours has more square footage. This one had a little bit larger lot size. I would say we're probably slightly better than this one at 160. So I would say an ARV for us, personally, again, this is not an exact science, but personally, I'm going to look at this and say we're probably in the 175 to 200 range. Judging that this one's the highest end, 225, that one we're definitely more than the 159, and we're probably more than this 152. I would say that we're probably in the 175 to 200 range. I would feel comfortable probably pricing my house at 199, hoping that it sells around there, and maybe lowering the price down to 175 as a get it done now kind of price. And so at the end of the day, I think 175 is probably my bottom end. I think 199 is probably realistic, and I think probably 115 is probably high. And so what I'm going to do is when I enter my numbers, I'll probably use somewhere in there between the 175 and 200. Let's just say 190. So hope that helps you guys figure out some comps. If you have any questions, of course, jump on the BiggerPockets forums and you will learn a lot more about that. And again, I'm not an appraiser. This is just my method to my madness. So when I go and enter in numbers into the rental property calculator, which you can get to at biggerpockets.com/calc or biggerpockets.com/analysis, that'll be the landing page, I can run the numbers based on that ARV. Okay, so now that we've analyzed the property and kind of found out our ARV, we're probably sitting around 175, like I said, the low end, to 225 or 215, the high end, probably somewhere in the middle. Why don't we just say 190 as our starting ARV? We can adjust that later as I talk to my real estate agent. I'm going to talk to him because he's the one selling the property, and I'm going to get his opinion on it, and we're going to find out exactly. But in the meantime, let's just check and run the numbers at 190. Are you guys up for that? Okay, let's go run the numbers. We're going to use the BiggerPockets rental property calculator. So what I'm going to do is going to go to biggerpockets.com/analysis. BiggerPockets.com/analysis takes us to the landing page for the BiggerPockets rental property calculator, house flipping calculator, and wholesaling calculator. So you can learn all about it in here if you want to go look more about it. And I'm going to click start here to start my analysis. And we're going to do the numbers as a flip. We're going to run it as a flip here. So fix and flip analysis and reporting tool. We're going to start a new report. We want to call this the, what was that property? It was a, let's go back to it and look a little bit. The Westerly Street house. So I'm going to give it a name. Westerly Street house. Just so I can identify it. Property address was, where were we at? 503 Westerly Street. Let's see, it was Aberdeen, Washington, 98520. We're going to add a photo if we want to. Why not? Okay, so let's go look at this. I'm going to take a screenshot, my little photo of this, and I'm going to actually upload that photo here, like so. Sales description. We don't have to include that, but you know what? I want to. So let's put that in there real quick. Right there, okay. Other property features, if I wanted to add things like this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. It is how many square footage? Again, we don't have to do this, but I like to. 2637, and it was built in 1957. Okay. Next step, page 2, purchase info. After repair value, what do we think this is worth when it's all fixed up? I'm going to go with 190 for now. I think, in all honesty, I could probably list it at 200 or 199, but I think probably we'll go 190, assuming that they're going to talk us down a little bit in negotiation. So 190 after repair value. Our desired profit. What do we want our desired profit to be on this property? Well, what do you want on a flip? For me, I want $30,000 minimum because I have a partner that I got to split it with. That means 15 apiece. Great. Estimated repair costs. What does it cost to fix this up? Now, we don't know. We haven't been to the property yet. And obviously, we can adjust these numbers later as we know. This is quick and dirty to decide if I want to even offer on it. So for me, looking at the pictures, I saw that it needed a fair amount of work. And it is a big property. It needs new cabinets. I can see that. It needs all new paint, probably all new flooring. I'm going to guess right now that this is going to be a $40,000 fix. This is my guess right now. Again, I can adjust that later. And if I wanted to expand the cost and go step by step through this property, I could. But honestly, I just don't know right now even what it's going to be. It could be 30, it could be 60,000. I don't know. But 40, I think, is a pretty reasonable estimate without actually going to the property. And that's all I'm trying to do right now is just get a reasonable idea. Is it worth looking into? Okay, purchase closing costs. How much are we going to pay for closing costs on this property? In my area, typically, I'm only looking at around $2,000 for that. Sale closing costs. When we go to sell the property, when we go to sell it, how much are we going to pay in closing costs? It's pretty, not counting in commissions. We're not counting real estate agent commissions. I'm going to go ahead and guess another $2,000 there. And actually, people always ask the seller to contribute a little bit for their closing costs. So why don't we go a little more and be conservative? Go $4,000 for sales closing costs. And now we have our agent commission. Our agent commission. What are the agents going to make on this deal to sell it? Typically in my area, 6%. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 6% here. Okay, so at this point, 6% commission there. And now we want to go with monthly holding costs. What's it cost to hold on to the property? Now I could expand it and go one by one. Monthly loan payment, property taxes, electricity, water, garbage, HOA. We could put all those numbers in and it will add it up here for us. But instead, we're just going to put in one solid number there. I'm going to go ahead and say just $1,700 a month. That's assuming I'm going to be paying for a hard money lender to fund the deal. I'm going to be paying for, a few other things like water, all sewer, garbage. I'm going to be paying for the mortgage. I'm going to be paying for insurance, taxes, all that. So I'm just going to guess right now $1,700. And I know that just because I know about how much all these added together are. If you want to take a minute and add up each of these one at a time, it'll add it up for you and put it right there. So $1,700. The number of days it's going to take to sell, for me on this property, I'm probably looking at about 2 months worth of rehab and probably another 2 months to sell it. So probably 120 days, 4 months. And then that's it. That's 3 pages. 1, 2, 3. Sales info, and then we hit calculate results. And let's see what this tells us. All right, here we go. So at the top, we got our nice picture up there. We've got our address here. And then down below, according to the data you provided, you can afford to offer $95,800 to make a profit of $30,000. This is based on an ARV of 190, an after repair value of 190, a rehab budget of $40,000, and holding costs of $6,800. Okay, so there's our number, $95,800. Well, what are they asking for the property? Well, remember, we ran the numbers. They're asking $105 when we looked at it earlier. So we're actually very close. If this is key, guys, if that $30,000 number, if the $40,000 rehab budget number is correct. So again, we got after repair value, our profit, our maximum allowable offer, and our rehab budget. Now, what if the rehab budget turns out to be $50,000? We should go look at that. Why don't we go do it? So you scroll down to the bottom, and by the way, you can see all the financial breakdown. How did it come up with those numbers? We can look at all the repair costs if we had broke them out one by one, which we didn't. So we could have looked at exactly how that made up that $40,000. We can even look at our hypothetical profit if we held it for 45 days or 90 days or 270 days. It's going to depend on how long you hold a property for, which I love the hypothetical because you got to look at what if, right? We can also see our return on investment on this too, but let's go ahead and just click edit report and go back. Because what if it was, we were going to do this for, what if the repair costs were more? What if they were $50,000? Well, let's do it. All we did is we want to change the 50. We go down, we calculate results, and now we've got a maximum allowable offer of 85. So here's the point at this point. Now I've run the numbers and I know that I'm in ballpark, right? I know that I'm very close to where I can make an offer. I'm not, it's not perfect, but I'm close. Now, I don't want to necessarily make an offer yet because I don't know how much the repairs are. I need to get a better idea. But now that I know I'm in ballpark, I'm going to go look at the property. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to walk through it, and I'm going to get an idea. Am I really is it really a 20,000 rehab? Is it a 30? Is it a 40? Is it a 50? Is it a 60? Where am I in there in the rehab budget? And so I'm going to run those numbers. And once I have a solid good idea of the grasp of the numbers, I'm going to pull up my phone while I'm there with my agent. I'm going to edit this report on my phone, and I'm going to get my correct number. Then I'm going to go make an offer at that number. Every property has a number, right? Now that number might be negative on a really bad property, but every property has a number that I could offer on it to make it worthwhile. So in this one, potentially, let's just say I go look at the property and it is a $50,000 rehab. That's what it's going to cost. Now, if you're not good at estimating rehab costs, make sure you read the book on estimating rehab costs by Jay Scott. You can find it on Amazon or go to biggerpockets.com/flipping book. But so I'm going to go there and I'm going to look at the property, and if it comes at $50,000, then I know that I could offer $85,800. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to offer 85.8 because I know that that's where I feel comfortable. Now I'm no longer scared. I'm no longer worried. I'm going to make that offer. Now, a couple things. I'm going to make that offer because I know that I could probably get a hard money lender. You probably should know about how you're going to afford the property. If you're not sure what a hard money lender is, just search Google for hard money lender, BiggerPockets, and you'll find an article or a video that I made about it. But they're basically just lenders that lend on flips. So I kind of know how I'm going to finance it. I also know that I'm going to put in contingencies. And what's a contingency? Well, contingency says, I'm offering you this much. However, if I don't, or if I discover XYZ, I can back out of the offer. Now, what's XYZ? It's inspection. So I'm going to do an inspection contingency that says I have a certain number of days to check out the property. So for example, for this one, I'll probably say I'm going to do a 10-day inspection period. And if I find something in that period that I don't like, that was different than I thought, I can pull out and not lose any of my earnest money or my anything like that, and I can pull out without a problem. And now, will they accept 85.8? I don't know, but it's been on the market a long time, so there's a very good chance they will. Now, what if the rehab's only 40,000? Well, even better, right? So again, we're finding out where it works. We're making offers because I have a number I feel confident on. If they say no, it's okay. Maybe next month they'll say yes, I'll reoffer again. Or maybe I'll analyze another property. And so I recommend people all the time, if you want to get into real estate, if you want to start doing deals, you got to start analyzing deals all the time. Analyze a couple deals every single day. Here's a challenge to you. 3 a day. If you want to flip houses, analyze 3 deals every day. That's roughly 100 every month. And then anyone that comes close, like this one's pretty close for me, make an offer on it. Figure out how you're going to finance it, whether you want to use a partner, whether you want to use a home equity line of credit, whether you want to use a regular bank loan, portfolio lender, whatever. And if you want to know more about financing, go to biggerpockets.com/no-money. You can pick up a copy of the book that I wrote called The Book on Investing in Real Estate with No and Low Money Down. But again, you make those offers on, let's say, 10% of them. So you're making maybe 10 offers a month, and maybe 9 out of 10 are going to be rejected. But what if you got 1 out of 10? What if you got just 1 out of 10 accepted and you only offered on 1 out of 10 that you analyzed? I mean, at the end of the day, you can make you could buy a house a month doing with those numbers. So again, that's kind of how I look at a deal. That's how I analyze it. That's how I run the numbers. That's how I even look at comps to figure out if it's worth buying or not. So hopefully this video helped you guys figure out exactly how I go from comps to, or a deal that comes in, a lead that comes in, to making an offer on a fix and flip property. Again, sorry if this video was a little bit jumbled and jumping around, but this is this is how I do this. In fact, I made this video today simply because I wanted to offer on this property. So I thought, heck, why don't I just make a video to show you guys exactly my process? So that's how my brain works. Total time it takes to do this, probably 20 minutes. Maybe to do a full analysis and look at comps and everything. Not too bad. So again, hopefully this helped you guys. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up on this video on YouTube here if you liked it, and let me know that you thought it was cool and then you want more videos like this. Other than that, I'll see you guys around BiggerPockets. Make sure you check out the BiggerPockets podcast at biggerpockets.com/podcast or in the iTunes store. If you're interested in picking up any of my books, go to biggerpockets.com/books? No, biggerpockets.com/store. That's what it is. Biggerpockets.com/store. Make sure you check that out. And come join me on a webinar. I do webinars every week and we analyze deals together for free. It's totally free to join. Come to a live webinar. Just go to biggerpockets.com/webinar and you can join me every week to do this in person live with new properties every week. So hope you guys can make it, and I will see you around the site. Have a great day. Bye.